How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome back to my first impressions for the new ShPTK-TVP. What we're going to be doing is playing a few games, and we're going to be talking about the tank. As you can see, I do have the normal kind of crew set up where, you know, Brothers in Arms, Sixth Sense, Recon, Situational Awareness, and then you just have kind of that default. I mean, we've got camo actually on this crew. I mean, if you really want to copy everything, then I'll quickly just put them all here. But it's default kind of crew skills, nothing special. I did go and get a new commander, and we did use some crew books to actually get this all up, because I have a lot of crew books for Czechoslovakian, and I have nothing else to put them on. For the equipment on this tank, we are going to be using a rammer, we're going to be using RM, and we're going to be using coated optics. We get 3.6k DPM, 0.27 accuracy, and 1.1 second aiming time. We may take off the IRM and replace it for something else. I don't know yet, but we'll have a look and see how it goes. I do have a lot in storage, so we can just pick and choose and swap them out for the different games. But let's go and get into some games, shall we? Okay, so you join me on Pilsen, and as you can see, it is definitely not the slowest of tanks. I didn't mean to cut this guy out, but I was kind of getting blocked either way there. It's definitely not the slowest of tanks, and yeah, dispersion is actually pretty decent, considering that we can't put V-stab and we can't put vents on the tank either. That's just another thing to mention as well. Obviously, being an open top vehicle, you cannot put ventilation, the same as everything else that has open top in their characteristics. So yes, and I forgot that this tank gets a lot of DPM with HE. Yes, 420 damage per shot. With 4.2 second reload and 100 pen on HE. That is way too good, actually. Also, the stunner rounds go at, well, I mean, they don't go very fast, like 900 meters a second shell velocity, but 270 pen, 250 average damage, and then the heat rounds, you get 330 heat pen, meaning that, you know, you can shoot that at whatever distance, and you're always going to have that pen there ready. Even at 500 meters, you're still going to have 330 penetration, which is actually mental as well. Like, this is tier 8. This isn't a tier 9. This isn't like tier 10. Interesting that we actually got shot at there. I mean, maybe we could actually put a low noise exhaust on this tank to try and give it even more camo. But, I mean, I don't know if it needs it yet. Pilsen's not really the best of maps for this tank. You also can very easily get penned with HE because you don't have a lot of armor. I believe it's like 65 at the most. But, you know, go through the turret and you're just going to get penned every single time by pretty much everything. So at least this thing doesn't have armor, because if this thing had armor, it would actually be completely broken. It would be the most OP tank in the game if this even had anything resembling armor. Unfortunately, we just have to kind of sit here, which is boring, I know, but there's nothing else that we can really do at this point in time. Lovely 390 Alpha. Yeah, the HE rounds on this thing are, I don't know, like, they're way too good, actually. They are way too good. There's so many things that you can pen with 100 pen as well. I mean, maybe we take even more HE. Although, I think 10 is enough. Like, realistically speaking, you're never really going to use that much. Right, let's go around this way and see if we can go and shoot the Progetto. Barask went that way as well, which is interesting. So we might be able to... Oh, we can actually get maybe the flank. Don't track him. Oh well, we die here now. Oh well, nothing really more to do. The enemy came up on us. There's nothing. There is just genuinely nothing you can do out of this game. Like, we could try and run away, sure, but I mean, the map is just not designed really for this tank. It's just not. Wasn't really expecting to meet the WZ there. Well, we lost that game, but I mean, to no surprise, really. We got 1.5k out of it before we died, which was definitely not great by any means. But yeah, we hit most of the shots. Only one of the shots that we took didn't hit the target, so I'd say that's a decent game. Like, everything that we shot at, we dealt damage to, pretty much. Let's take IRM off, because I don't think it needs it, to be quite honest with you. Maybe we could put... That looks... Yeah, I'm going to do that. That actually does make it look pretty decent. We could even go for like a turbo as well on this tank. Both are good options. What I would suggest you do, because obviously I don't have the field mods yet, and I'm not going to just, you know, spend a lot of free XP to get 69k. Nice. But what I would suggest you do is put the scouting slot on this vehicle so that you can stick either, you know, if you wanted to put an exhaust system on it, then you could, you know, give it the bonus that way if you don't have the bounty, or you could put the optics into that slot as well, which is what I'll probably end up doing, because I don't really like using the bounty optics, as I only have one of them. And I would prefer to put it on something like my EBR, because this actually needs kind of bond, well, not bond, but bounty equipment, whereas this doesn't really need it. The same with the gun rammer. You could easily just put the gun rammer in there and forgo bounty, and that would be absolutely fine. Okay, let's test it out with the bounty exhaust system now, and if I use this as well, it goes to 36.4, 39.2. Okay, well, obviously I don't have a full concealment crew yet, so let's stick this one on, as we don't have a full concealment, and we'll see how this goes. Right, we are on Mannerheim Line, and we're going to go up to the standard kind of TD position over here to start off with, and hopefully we can get some shots on the people that are crossing early on, as that would be quite nice. So, and a bit of my cat's fur. Load HE, because this guy is peeking. Didn't really do what I wanted it to. Go back. Don't know if we got spotted there or not. We don't have enough gun depression to fully go down to shoot the M41 without overexposing a lot of our tank. Interestingly enough, also, this 5100 got away with it. I don't know how much damage he took. He's about half health now. It's actually kind of interesting learning what you can actually pen with this 100mm on the HE. I mean, it's going to get me into trouble for a little bit, I'm not going to lie, while I learn. I think that hit his gun. Because there's going to be some situations where I'm going to be shooting HE and I really just shouldn't be. Like that situation. I'm just going to kill this. Oh, okay. Really? Ugh. Yep. And we take nearly 600 damage for our mistake. Because we can't overpeak that. I mean, it's 6-2. The game's pretty much over. Such is the way of World of Tanks at this point in time. I mean, maybe we can get a little bit more. Nice. Just need to be patient. It's one of the things about this tank. You can't be aggressive because you have no armor. So it's kind of hard to actually... Oh wow, it's also kind of hard to lead shells because of the slow the slow shell speed. So it's kind of hard to judge where you should be, and also what you should be kind of prioritizing in the game. Because like right now, if I knew that this game was going to be complete, you know, slaughter, like it's already over. But there's no other enemies here. I mean, maybe the 274A is over this way somewhere, but I'm not getting any more damage out of this game. And it's been like 2 minutes. But if I was being aggressive, let's say, and I went with the heavies or I went over here, I could just as easily just get completely demolished within the first, you know, 2 seconds. I mean, it's actually a joke that this game's this fast. They literally didn't even leave their base. Like, usually you can sit up here and you can actually play around and support your team that are pushing over here, but no one really went over here. And they all just sat in the base. I mean, there was only one tank that actually went where the SU was. So we get 1k damage. And again, like, there's just nothing more that I can shoot at. You can't afford to be aggressive because you will die. And it's like this with most tanks in the game now. Because the games are so fast, and you need to know, like, you need to have this like kind of sixth sense of just getting lucky with what is going to happen in the game, because the games are so quick now that if you are in the wrong spot, you get 0 out of your game. You need to just predict that the enemy are either going to be really aggressive or they're going to be camping. And if you guess wrong, you get nothing. But if you guess right, then you'll get loads. And like, you kind of just need to be pushing. Like, this guy went actually like with the heavies and got lucky, and he gets, you know, 2k damage for it. What do I think of bounty exhaust though? I don't know. Like, I don't really think it needs it, to be honest. Like, I think you could go and get this, and it goes all the way down to 0.25 dispersion, and that's kind of insane. Like, you could do that, and then you could even, I don't know how much this will put it down to, 0.24, or you could buff the reload time. I mean, let's make it like as accurate as is possible. This is genuinely as accurate as you can get this tank, because I already have Brothers in Arms, which is going to be the only crew seal that affects this, and I have Bounty IAU, we have the Directive. You can't put vents on this. There is nothing else that you can use in the game that will make this more accurate. So we have 0.24 dispersion. Let's see if this makes any difference. Right, well, we're on Westfield, and potential here to have a good game. I mean, maybe the best one, to be honest, because 0.27 dispersion is still insane. Insane amounts. It is probably turbo, actually, just so you can get into position even faster. I'm going to knock this one forwards, and then we'll go to the back over here. And hopefully, we should be able to go just to the right, like here. And move back. Oh, we don't have enough gun depression. It's actually kind of annoying. Maybe we can go even further back though, and try and hide from the lava. So like, I just don't quite have enough gun depression here. I can't really shoot this Bazonte. There's not really an easy shot here for me. If we were a little bit taller, then we could actually sit here, but because we don't have the height, it's actually kind of stopping us from being able to fully utilize this position. I mean, 330 heat is going to go through that like it's absolutely nothing. Okay. Well, by the looks of things, we need to move up a little bit to try and get a better angle. Because our team's pushed around here and we've won this side. So we need to try and push around this side maybe to try and get an angle. Of course. You can just run away. Really didn't expect to meet the Barask there. Can't really do anything against a Type 59 because I don't have the gun depression to shoot him. Although he might not have the gun depression to shoot me. Come on. Ricochet. What? I don't know what gun depression it gets, actually. Is that 10? It looks like 10 degrees. But... do you gain more? Ah, you gain less over the side. Like, considerably less over the side. So if you're going to be using gun depression, you need to do it head on. I mean, you can kind of play this tank actually like a Leo. If you think about it. But, like, the problem is that it's not the same platform that a Leo has. And it's definitely not got the punchy alpha. Like, the Leo's alpha is... what? The Leo's alpha is really, really good. Right? If this had, like, 300 alpha with a little bit longer reload, it'd be insane. I'm just struggling to get any type of damage out of this tank because in nowadays World of Tanks you can't really just snipe. It's like trying to play an STRV. I don't know. I just can't do anything. It doesn't have enough health really. Like, this tank just doesn't fit the meta that's going on at the moment. As much as it might have great DPM, it doesn't have the alpha to do anything with it. Unless you meet someone that you can fire HE into. Like, genuinely struggling to get more than 1k damage in this tank. I mean, we can apply it. I don't know. I don't know how to play this tank. I think that it's probably turbo. You go at 60, you have 24 power to weight. I mean, then you can just bump up the DPM as well. I don't know, it's really weird. I mean, what do you get if you remove the optics? Like, what type of view range do you get? 417? I suppose it doesn't even matter. But the optics are kind of irrelevant. Like, you're in a tank that's not going to be spotting for itself at all. I'm going to remove the optics. Remove the optics, add IRM, and then go for turbo. I mean, I could even put the turbo thingy on it. We get 25 power to weight with 60 top speed. Let's play a game like this and see what this is like. Well, this is really not the map that you want in this tank. I don't know how to play these types of tanks where they don't have any armor. They have like, insane DPM, but the DPM means absolutely nothing when you don't have good enough alpha. Like, alpha damage is pretty much king in nowadays World of Tanks, because it doesn't matter how fast the game's going. If you have good enough alpha to just put, you know, 4 shots out and you've done like 2k damage, it doesn't matter. Oh, I wish our light tank was doing a bit of a better job than this. There we go. 298. It's not too bad. And the accuracy is definitely good enough. Go back a little bit. We should... yeah, we're fine here. Like, we can't get spotted by these either, which is good. Shell velocity isn't really too much of a problem. At least from what I'm noticing. You can kind of get around bad shell velocity pretty easily by just learning about, you know, how it is. And eventually you'll just get used to it. Like with anything. That's not good. Really wasn't expecting him to just pop up like that. Oh, I'll tell you what though, every single hit that you take, you really feel it. It's like playing a 274A. You take like a 300 alpha damage hit, and that's a third of your health. Like something stupid like that. Like, you really feel it. Because you take a 500 damage hit, that's half your health gone. Near enough. Maybe we can try and get a shot on the bat chat if he peeks out. Okay, that's good. I would like to try and get some shots on like the IS-3 or the Tiger 1. Let's see. I mean, it looks like we should be winning this, actually. Okay, I'm going to try and cross again. Because we became unspotted, so we can go back across like this. And hopefully we can... I'm not so sure. I mean, we just need to get something done. Like, I would say for this type of tank, I need about 2k damage to be relatively happy with my performance. Tell you what though. Ah, of course. Okay. Sure thing. Some interesting timing. We get the spotting though, that's fine. We can go up here, and then maybe we can get another shot on people. I mean, it's still like an ISU and everything else. You know what, I should... No, I need to just run. Like, this is the thing. Like, it's so against what I want to try and do. That was unexpected. It's so against what I would try and do normally as a tank. Like, in this thing, I need to just run away. Of course, man. Like, sure. Of course you ricochet. 270 pen. Like, normally I'll be trying to, like, push it, trying to get some spotting or something for my team, but, like, it's just, you don't do that in this tank. You don't. You sit at the back, and you use all your DPM to try and get damage. That's all you do. You have to play so selfishly in this tank for it to work. I think that's the main takeaway of this tank, actually. You don't play for your team or anyone like that. And you really need to know what alpha damage people have as well. Because if you don't know the alpha of a tank that you're meeting and you suddenly take more damage than you think you otherwise would have, and you miscalculate that, that is probably the biggest thing that will... I can't actually push this because the Tiger could come around that way. That is the biggest thing that will destroy your games for you. I kind of need to just sit here and wait for this Tiger if he comes around this way. We should have a shot. I'm going to shoot once just to get rid of that. It definitely has enough shells though, which is good. Like, you can really take a wide range of shells in this tank and not feel like you're ever really running out of ammo. Even though that this tank's a sniper, I wouldn't recommend you put binos and camo net on it because it just... Why would you do that? I don't think that this tank, you should be doing that with it. It definitely needs a rammer to get that DPM as much as it possibly can. Tiger 1 actually went that way, which only leaves the 112 in the middle of the map and then the thingy. He's actually hull down. It's a bit of a pain. We might be able to get a shot off on this guy in a second. what we'll do is... he should kill him. Oh, he fired HE at him. Oh, lucky. Okay, but this 112's pushing up now, so we should be able to kill him. 112 is going to have to high roll, like, very, very high to be able to kill me. Oh, I'm so bad at this game. Actually terrible. My mouse sensitivity was so low that I couldn't actually move my mouse fast enough. I'm learning how to play this tank, right? Which is why it's the first impressions. I just need to adapt to it. Like, in that situation, like, we played correctly and we get rewarded for it because we just went to the back of the map. Like, it's just as simple as that. I genuinely think you can probably ditch the IRM, but I don't know what else you would use. Turbo is really good on this tank. Really, really good, actually. You can kind of keep up with other people because you don't have the power to weight. As much as you have the top speed, you don't have the super good power to weight. So the turbo actually boosts that up again. And I think definitely with the field mods where you get the train distance improvements as well. Yeah, you should be able to do pretty good things. I believe this gets to train distance, right? So we get 2.4k and then 600 average, or 600 assistance. Like, to free mark this thing at the moment is like 3k damage that you'd need. And I am not good enough to play this tank at 3k. Reliably, at least. What field mods do you get? You do get the reinforced suspension, right? Yeah, so you get the 15% boost to all terrain types, which will help out again. But I don't know what else you would use. Optics, I guess. Like, it doesn't need IRM. You might as well just use optics. Like, I don't see what else you would use. Because it's pointless putting bounty aiming on it. It's not going to make that much of a difference. When this is already good, you might as well just boost your view range up. It's either bounty exhaust system or optics. But I'd say you always need the rammer. You know, like, if you drop the rammer on this thing, you just, like, you go down too much. Because if your DPM's already like the best, like, no. And you can't even negate it for like vents. So you couldn't even say that as an excuse for dropping it. Not that that would really make any sense anyway. Like, the thing is, if your DPM's already that good, just boost it even further. Because, like, you might as well just abuse it completely. Like, if you had a bond rammer and a directive, you go down to nearly 4 seconds flat, nearly 3.7k DPM on a tier 8. And if you use HE, 6,189. Yeah, I don't know. It's a struggle. I think this is the best setup at the moment. Either way, what I'm going to do is I'll probably play this on stream a bit and mess around with it, see what we can do, and then I'll make a full review on it. Because obviously you need more time than just a few games in the tank to actually make a full review. So we will be taking another look later on once I get a few games, once we get all the field mods. And yeah, we'll see what that's like. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on the ShPTK-TVP. And yeah, we'll get a full review out at some point once we've got all the field mods and whatnot. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It does all help me out. And I'll see you all in the next video.